this video guide, we're going to continue to talk about PIXLR, and this is going to be another of the series of videos or lessons dedicated to PIXLR. So we're gonna go forward a little by little, and we're gonna explore all the tools that we have at our disposal. So I'm just gonna create a new file here, and I'm going to select a print preset. And this is going to be a standard and common A4, the paper size that you usually find in your home. Now, remember also to give a name here. So we're gonna call this A4 test. And this is gonna be the size in pixels. And if we want, we can also add a background. Now, if we don't add a background, we're gonna have a transparent background, which is going to be helpful for this lesson in particular. So I'm going to leave this deactivated and go to create. Now this checkerboard represents the absence of any pixel, so it's kind of the transparency layer. So you can see here that we only have one layer and it's totally transparent, and it's represented with this checkerboard. Now what if we want to add an image? Now we have several ways we can do that. If we go to File menu and we do New Image, we are not actually importing or inserting any new image, we're just starting a new document. So this is called image, but it's actually a new document or new paper. And also if we do Open Image, it's gonna ask us here to open an image, but if I open this image, it's gonna open up another document. So if I say OK, apply, you can see here now we have two documents. So I want to turn this off, or actually delete it. So these two are not good if you want to stay in this document here. Now you also have the possibility to open up an image from an URL, or we can browse elements here, or we can do a stock search. So these are the images available in the database of PIXLR. But if I open up this one here again, let's see what happens. It's gonna ask me to create another document. So not good yet. Let's close it again. Now when I do this one here, browse elements, in this case I can actually place something inside. So let's select something here, which is, well, there is a lot of premium content here. Let's see if we can find something totally free. There you go. So I can add this one here. If I click there, you can see that this is an image, but it's not covering all the paper, but only part of that. So it's kind of, let's say, a frame around the canvas here, and the rest is totally transparent again. So it's not a completely full layer. It's just containing some pixels in this part, and this will be good for our example. So this is one way we can add some elements. But what if we want to insert our images? Now to do that we have a couple of ways. So you can go either here in the layer menu, go down there and do add image as layer, or you can go here in the layer panel and click on the plus icon and select the image type. So let's do this. Let's click here, and it's gonna bring me to this folder, which is the folder where I get my image from. So I want to insert something, and let's insert this one here, which is vertical, and it's perfect for this example. Okay, now what we can see is that we have some borders there which are not really great. There is a gap between the canvas and the image. So if I select the image with the standard tool, which is this one here, it's called arrange, and it's used to manage all the elements inside the paper. So if I click there with this arrange tool, all shortcut keys is V, then I can click and drag this a little bit. Now you can snap with that purple line, so I'm gonna snap it perfectly on the edges, or I can extend this a little bit more and all the part that is not going to be visible inside the frame is going to be left out. Now I can also click and drag and position this. So this is kind of cutting out anything that I don't really need and leaving the part that I want to concentrate of the image. Now also let's go back to the layers and manage the layers and organize them a little bit better. So if I click this and drag it there, so above the image, there you go. Now I can see that this is a standard photo montage with different layers and with the use of transparency. So thanks to transparency, I can see the image below. Otherwise, it will be totally covered by the layers above. Okay, so let's add another image again. Well, before I do that, I want to create some space here because I want to use both images in a combination. So, well, if I insert an image here, well, let's do that. So if I go here to layer and add image as layer and I select another image, this one here, for example, and I bring this all the way down, then it's not going to be visible at all because it's totally covered by the previous image. So let's create some transparency on this image in order to see what's below. I'm going to deactivate this 2 below for the moment, and I'm going to work with this. So always make sure that you are in the correct layer. And let's see some selection. So this one here is the standard arrange. The next tool here beside is the marquee select. So it's a selection. It's a pretty easy and simple selection which can be done using a rectangle or square or ellipse or circle. Now to create a rectangle selection, you can click and drag with the left mouse. If you want the square, you can click, drag and hold shift. For the circle, if you want standard circle, you need to hold shift again. So this is going to be a perfect circle. Otherwise, you can just select and create ellipses. So I'm just going to create a first ellipse. Now each time I'm going to create a new selection, it's going to start all over. Also, if I click there and move it, I can move the selection around. Now if I select the arrange tool again and I move it, it's going to change into a pair of scissors. This means that I'm cutting part of the image and I'm moving pixels from one part to the other. So I'm cutting out and I'm seeing the background there. Now I can also use the selection and press delete, and that's going to delete those pixels from the image. So it's going to create holes inside the image. Now if I select this mode here, this is going to add the selection. So if I continue to create circles, it's going to continue to add other circles to my selection. So if I want to get rid of all this part of the image, I'm going to continue to select and then press delete, and it's gonna delete all those circles. Now I can also do the inverse, so I can remove from the selection. So if I select, for example, all this part here and then select remove, and I'm gonna remove part of this, you can see that that's gonna be removed there. So I'm gonna press cancel, and there you go, I removed that part. And also I can choose a feather. So let's increase the feather to 100, and let's create some more circles here with the add. So again, see it's gonna add these circles. Okay, kind of a cloudy effect. Okay, now let's delete again, and there you go. Now you can see the feather there, so it's kind of a gradient, well, a more soft effect than before. Now right click to have some extra options. So I'm gonna deselect and I can see now the hole. No, this is all the transparent part. So if I open up the image again, I can see down there the other image. So I can now just, well, I want to flip this image. So I'm gonna go to adjustments, sorry, this case to flip, we can go to edit, transform, and flip horizontal. Okay, so I can see a little bit better there. Now, if I want, I can make more holes, delete more pixels from the previous images using the circle again and the selection to show more of the image that's below. So I'm gonna select other parts here and delete them. So you can see how we can play, we can start to play here with our first photo montages in PIXLR, and I think that everything works pretty nice and cool. So you can also experiment yourself. Right click, deselect, and there you go. So we just experimented with some images and some selections. So this will be all for this lesson. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. If you want, you can join to support us, and leave your comments, questions, suggestions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.